Hey, St. Patrick's, Father Pete here. I want to share a few things about our upcoming parish year and specifically how we are envisioning moving forward together in mission. You might remember at the end of April, first part of May, we had what was called the Revive Weekend. We did that with Apostles Anglican Church, and we brought Mark Eldridge in, and he spent the weekend with our vestry, myself, staff, and a few other people, and we talked about how we could um, put together a plan to focus on being on mission together and being a witness in our city as a church. And out of that weekend, under his guidance and our own kind of discernment, we decided we need to pray into that. So vestry met right after that. We began to discern, and then I called a day of prayer fasting in May and invited people to share things they sensed from the Lord. And I heard some feedback from that. I heard some things as well, and then continued to kind of leave that open and let things bubble up, and some other things bubbled up, and didn't want to rush that. Wanted to take the time for us to listen, to pay attention. Also knew it's been summer, so things in life just sort of slow down. Church life slows down, so didn't want to be in a rush, but want to try to be attentive to the Holy Spirit as much as possible. um, and then towards the end of July, I had a real sense of where I think we're supposed to be going, and I brought that to our vestry, and there was unanimous affirmation. Our staff affirmed it, other key people. So then the one last thing we did is just 2 weeks ago, we had a night of prayer and brought these things before the Lord to sort of solidify them. And out of that, I just sense it's time to debut and roll out what we're thinking for this year. And I want to begin by saying I really believe that the step we're going to take is kind of like a first step, maybe a pilot, maybe an experiment. We're gonna begin to move into a direction, and we're going to learn as we go. And we might even, in the long run, course correct and change direction. But this gets us started. And I think the two things that really bubbled up are encouraging, exciting, and fit who God has made us to be. So let me get into it. I've been leading up too long already. So the first thing that bubbled up, a number of people shared with me, and in my own personal prayer time, I sensed this as well, that um, God has used us as a parish over these last 19 years to reach a lot of folks who are maybe considering not being disciples anymore, or are considering maybe remaining disciples, but not doing that in the context of church, maybe de-churching, maybe even becoming spiritual orphans. And they've been able to come to our parish, plug in, reignite their faith, and either in some cases maybe really become a disciple for the first time, or recommit as a disciple of Jesus. And so there were a number of people, me included, that sensed, I think, Lord, that you're calling us to be that kind of place. So we want to try to live into that. And I would say that first one is sort of um, that's a focus of people that we want to learn how to love and learn how to reach, and we're gonna be kind of praying into that and understanding that. The second focus is really where we're gonna, to use a kind of a fancy word, we're gonna operationalize some structures around it, and it's this: in conversation with our own Laura Carr, just sense that God might be telling us, "Hey, I really want you to partner with Lexington Rescue Mission in a way you never had before." And what came up was um, their ministry really is kind of a year long or more process of bringing someone maybe out of a time of jail, maybe into recovery, into a job, into having a home, but also to bring them to Christ and to disciple them and equip them. And one of the parts of their ministry is so important is classes and mentoring opportunities where people can actually build relationships with clients of Lexington Rescue Mission. And it's through those relationships that one of the most important parts of their strategy is to place people in a church. And so just knowing that that's been a part of our parish as well, we've had a real partnership with LRM, Lexington Rescue Mission. I really feel like we want to take this year and kind of focus in on serving there. And so here's what it's going to look like. I'm going to start a community group, and it's going to be a little bit different than our other community groups. I'm calling it a mission community group. It'll be rolled out in a week and a half when we begin community group signups. And the way we'll define this group is this is a group of people that want to do three things in their community group. One, everyone is part of it somehow volunteers and serves at Lexington Rescue Mission at some level. Second, we want to be a group that helps organize and create pathways for everyone who can in the parish to participate at some level in Lexington Rescue Mission. Maybe not a regular weekly or monthly commitment, but maybe the once a year walk for warmth, or maybe praying for the mission, or when opportunities come to move someone into a house to help out. And we want to be the group that helps the rest of the parish know what's going on, and we bring the opportunities forward to the rest of the parish, and we help create pathways for you. So we're going to serve, and we're going to serve the Lexington Rescue Mission and serve the parish by helping everyone who can and wants to serve there as well. And then of course we'll have built into that the sort of normal community discipleship things you do in the community group, so that this group has a mission focus. One reason for doing that is simply to make sure we are putting into action this desire to plug in and partner with Lexington Rescue Mission. And second, to pilot a new kind of community group, not necessarily to undo our other kinds of community groups, our sort of general basic community discipleship focus groups, but maybe, for example, a community group will arise around um, reaching out to young parents who struggle with raising their kids, but they're not necessarily disciples. We can build a bridge into their lives and minister to them, or a group that wants to minister to another agency in our city. That's down the road. That's in the future. That might happen and might not. I really want to trust the Holy Spirit to raise that up. But this gives us a chance to experiment with that, to learn about that, and move forward. So my hope and my prayer is that what will happen is um, we'll be able to say we are relationally and in terms of action, partnering with Lexington Rescue Mission, number one, through a mission community group focused on that, with its goal, not just for those in the group, to help the whole parish really partner and lean into that. And the second, to this year, to be really praying into and learning how we can reach out to those folks that are in that first group I mentioned. God, how do you want us to reach those who maybe are de-churching or deconstructing, but aren't ready to walk away, or have walked away and want to come back? How can we be that kind of place? We're faithful to you, faithful to the gospel, faithful to the scriptures, and yet create a welcoming kind of environment so more people can come and engage or re-engage with you in that way. So this is all a work in progress. One of my former bishops, Chuck Murphy, used to always say, when he talked about the Anglican Mission in America, that was the organization we were part of early on in our life as a church, he'd say, we know that God's called us to be on mission planting Anglican churches in North America. Don't know how we're going to do all that yet. We're building the bridge as we cross it. So that's kind of what we're doing with this. We're going to build the bridge as we cross it. Second, we're gonna mimic Israel and trust that God will give us a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night, and He'll just take us each step through through this ministry and this mission and lead us into it. So this is our next first step, our best first step, to lead towards this goal of being a church on mission. Well, I don't want to make this super long. I said my email would be short. It's already gotten a few minutes longer than I want it to be. But I'm going to talk about this on Sunday in my homily as well. And I'll probably take the audio from this and make a podcast if I can do that, or I'll do another special podcast. So I just want to get this out. Please contact me. Please share thoughts. Please pray into this. I want to lead us as a parish together to do this, and I trust that God's in it, and we'll discover more and learn more. We'll make mistakes. We'll do some wrong turns. We'll course correct, but we're going to trust God to lead us into mission. God bless.